You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are. I know it's not Christmas or whatever, but something with a little Grinchy. Um, so let's start this. Interdependence. We'll talk about that big ideal 17 for science. It's about how all living things need each other, what we need to survive, what plants and animals need, where we live, habitats, all that kind of stuff. Don't we know about that? That's my stuff. My stuff. My stuff. My stuff. My stuff. Okay. What is similar about all these living things? We have a tree, baby, a beetle, a bug, and a cat. They all hatch from eggs. They all begin life as seeds. They all go through life cycles. I don't know about that. I don't know about that egg and that hatch it from an egg or a seed. Let's see. Let's think. Let's go. Okay. What are the things that plants and animals need to live? Air, water, food, place to live. Do they need air? I would say so. Do they need water? Yeah. Place to live? Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah, you need a place to live. Can't pull a tree out of the ground. It's got to live somewhere. All right, let's see this. Engage video, if I can do this. It doesn't want me to engage the video. Engage the video. Doesn't like me. List, let's see, list some needs of people and animals. What do we think? Think about it for a second. What are some needs, things people need? Well, we talked about it. We need air. What else do we need? Plants need air. Animals need air. Need water. Gotta have water. Food. What else? Air, water, food, nutrients. Kind of like food. It's where we get, our nutrients from is from food. Space. We need space to grow. I can't just be in this one little room or in your house. You get all the time. You need space to grow. So do plants. Sunlight and shelter. You need shelter out of the elements. Elements are rain, wind, all that stuff. Sunlight. Too much sunlight. All right. What stage of the chicken life cycle is shown below? Which stage of the chicken life cycle? What is that? Come on. What in the picture? Look in the picture. All right, say the letter A, B, or C. Is it egg, adult, or hatchling? And it is egg, A. Good job. I will be able to compare and contrast the basic needs that all living things, including humans, have for survival. What can you observe? I got my light in the way right here. Happening in the animation. Well, what is it getting? It's getting two things. It's getting two things it needs right now. Name them. Water and is it getting food? If it's planted, it is. Maybe three. What's the other one? Sunlight. What does the water do for the plant? Helps it to grow. Plants with activity. Oh, plants, light again, are living organisms. Those living organisms. They are alive. Yep, we talked about that. We showed a picture of that, video of that. Venus flytrap. Plants have basic needs to make sure, that's what ensure means, to make sure, ensure their survival, of their survival. All plants need sunlight. Plants take sunlight in through their leaves. The energy from the sun is combined with the water and air. This process makes the food the plant needs to survive. So plant takes in the sunlight through the leaves, kind of like a big, fan or umbrella just to hold it, capture it. Combined with water, the process All plants need water. Water absorbs through the roots, although it's not looking there like it's through the roots. But when you water plants, generally when they hit the roots, not so much this. It's important. It'll go down through the plant itself, through the stem. The water then moves to the leaves. The water is then combined with the air and energy from the sunlight. This process makes the food the plant needs to survive. All plants need air. Yep. Plants take in air through their leaves. The air is combined with water and energy from sunlight. This process makes the food that plants need to survive. Plants need, is it dirt? Is it? Nutrients from the soil. That's where they get their nutrients, what they need, like our vitamins. Roots hold plants in the soil. The roots absorb water and nutrients. Plants need nutrients to keep them healthy. All plants need, what are they showing there? You're getting in my, right? Get out of my, what is it? Space. You're in my space, in my face. All plants need some space to grow and spread out to survive. Roots need place to take, roots need space to take in the required amount of nutrients. Too much, too many roots. This root combined, that's not enough. You need space for yours. To take in the required amount of nutrients and water from the soil. Leaves need space so they receive the proper amount of sunlight. You gotta have space. If you're crowded, it's going to block it out for you. Say this plant, two plants could block it out. This one dies. You need space. List things plants need for survival. Let's go. What do you think? Pause it. Solve it. Sunlight, water, air, nutrients, and space. Explore and explain, day 3. All plants and animals go through the exact stages in their life cycle. The exact plants and animals. A or B? Show them to me. The answer is B. Good job. Correct. I will be able to compare and contrast the basic needs of all living things, including humans, to survive. Oh, what does this little girl need to survive? We'll talk about that. You know it. Okay, explore activity. All animals are living organisms. They are alive. Animals have basic needs to survive, to ensure their survival. You have to have certain things. All animals need, we're considered an animal, some of us more than others, food. All animals need to eat food. They need the food to provide energy for the animal to live and move. Animals also need food so they are able to grow. If you don't eat right, you won't grow. It'll stunt your growth. Animals need probably a toothbrush. I don't know. Bad breath. I don't know. Oxygen, air. All animals need the oxygen and air or water to help their bodies release energy from the food they eat. So you got to breathe. If you don't breathe, you're not going to do very well. All animals need, what is he doing? He's not looking at himself in a mirror. Water. All animals need to drink water. Water is important for animals to stay healthy. It keeps them hydrated and helps them digest food. You got to stay hydrated so you don't get the animals need. We need this shelter. All animals need shelter to protect them from hostile weather in their habitats. Animals also need shelter to protect them from predators, someone that's going to hunt them. So if someone's going to hunt you, you need to get out of the way. You need a house. List the needs of animals. List the needs of animals for survival. What do you think? Pause it, solve it. Hurry up. Pause it. All right, let's see. Air, water, food, shelter. Okay. At what stage of a life cycle does an animal reproduce? Does it have offspring, kids? Egg, pupa, adult. Think about it. Adult, the adult stage. That's when you have kids. That's when you have an offspring, reproduce. I will be able to compare and contrast. We said this 1,000 times. Same thing. Okay. What needs do these two things have in common? What are the two things? Plants and people, plants and animals. Animals were animals. In science, we're considered animals. They need air and water. There probably is more of those, but those are the two things. All right. Animals and plants, light again, need each other. Get that light on there. Okay. Plants make their own food using carbon dioxide and air, water, and energy from sunlight. Animals, including humans, breathe out carbon dioxide and breathe, breathe out carbon dioxide air. Plants use this air to make food. So what we breathe out, they take in. Very, very genius. Plants release oxygen when they make food. Let's see. Plants release oxygen when they make food. Animals, including humans, breathe in the oxygen. Animals need oxygen to survive. Which part of the animal's life cycle is shown below? What's that little thing right there? What's that there? Seeds. Got to know that's seeds, not seedlings. Seedlings are a little bit less. That's when they pop up. And germination is when it goes from place to place. It goes from one area to the next. It moves around. That's germination. Okay. Okay, gotta light my way. These kids are talking about where habitats are found. Which friend has the best idea about habitats? Habitats are where animals live and where people are, where everything is. So we have a desert, ocean, tundra. Darius, I think habitats are found on land. Aiko. I think habitats are found in water. Nancy, I think habitats are found on land or in water. Explain your answer. Gave it away. Well, fish and dolphins and whales and sharks are animals. They don't live on land, but they still have a habitat. So their habitat is that. Birds, lions, tigers, bears, they have a different habitat. They're on land. So it is Nancy. Nancy is correct. I'll be able to recognize different habitats and explain that living things are found all over Earth in those habitats. Look at the pictures. Who, can't tell what that's on my light, blank you think lives, what do you think lives in a habitat? What questions do you have? So we have the little, that's not quite the desert, the first one up there, top left. Okay. It's a little bit of a desert, kind of tundra. Mountains, the desert, the mountains. We'll talk about this. Those are kind of questions. What do you see in the photographs? What do you notice about the pictures? Don't need to know about that. They're at the bottom there. Okay. Learn more about habitats. I hope this works. Nope. Won't let me. Okay. Habitat is a small part of an environment. That's what a small part of an environment. Different habitats are found all over the earth. Desert, down there on the, over there on the left. Ocean, a pond, a river, which is obviously windy, further long, and the Arctic. Those are all habitats. All different types of animals live there. You're not going to find an animal who lives in the Arctic, like a fox, Arctic fox, who's going to be in the desert. You're not going to find a desert who's going to be in the Arctic. You're not going to find something in the desert that's going to be in the Arctic. A scorpion, rattlesnake in the Arctic. I don't know about a pond. Might find it different places, but I don't. Let's see. Habitats. A habitat is a place where a living thing gets food, water, shelter it needs. Living things live in habitats that meet their needs. Living things, living things from one habitat usually cannot live in a different one. Um, if it's an Arctic and it's a white fox, an Arctic fox who's white, isn't going to do very well in the desert or in the forest. In the rainforest. He's going to be eaten. He's going to get noticed. That's why the brown bears and all those, grizzly bears, zodiac bears and all that live in there, dark, and they can hide. They're camouflaged. They're naturally camouflaged for that. Same as the other way. A zodiac bear isn't going to live in the Arctic. He's going to get found, probably eaten by something. I don't know what would, but a camel has all of its basic needs met in the desert habitat. The legs, the storage, everything. Keeps off the ground. The hooves for the sand. Okay, look back and put the beginning of the lesson. What was your thinking changed? So we talked about this. I think habitats are found in land. I think habitats are found in water. I think habitats are found on land or in water. And we said it's found in both. You have different animals, different places. Some animals live in one area of the world. Some live in a different. Name at least 3 different habitats where you can find plants and animals. Pause it, solve it, think about it. Think about it. I'm gonna let you solve. I ain't gonna solve. You solve it. I'm gonna solve it. I'm waiting. Better be working in there. Are you? All right. What labels should be placed on the life cycle shown in the correct order? Okay, here we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. What's it start off with? Is that an egg? Or is that an adult? Or is that a chick? What's it start off with? What's 1? I told you right there. What's 1? Is it the adult it starts off with? I would say it's the egg, hatchling, chicken, then the adult. You're an egg, you hatch, young baby, adult. We just don't hatch. I will have an egg. Okay, pause this real quick up here. 3 friends are looking for pictures of animals in different habitats. Which friend has the best idea of the kinds of animals in forest and grasslands? Mila, I think forests and grasslands have the same kinds of animals. Violet, I think forests and grasslands have some kinds of animals. I think forests and grasslands have different kinds of animals. We talk about forest and grasslands. Forest, trees, forests are trees, and grasslands are just the opposite. It's a whole field of grass. Grasslands, not a lot of trees, or some trees, but not a lot. So if you see grasslands with trees, it's fine. More grass. Compared to the other ones, forests don't have a lot of grass. That's the reason why, because the trees have canopies. All their trees block out the light, and the grass really can't grow. There's plants, but there's not really grass. Kind of worry about that later. I will be able to explain that living things are found all over the earth, but each is only able to live in habitats that meet its basic needs. Plants and animals live in specific habitats for a reason. Do you think all animals and plants can survive in any habitats? We talked about this. I want to see I want to see a deer in the ocean, survive in the ocean. I want to see a great white survive in the grasslands. Probably not. Grasslands are wide open areas, grasslands. Tall grass flowers grow in this type of habitat. That's what it looks like. Some trees, you'll see some trees there, but not a lot. Very few. More grass than anything, very tall grass. Grassland animals. Grassland provides plenty of space to live. So we have grassland provides buffalo room to roam and plenty of grass to eat. Prairie dogs find shelter by digging in the soil because there's plenty of soil there. It's kind of dried up so they can get to it. Where forests are a little different, and obviously oceans and the tundra and that. We'll talk about that. But grasslands, so animals a lot of space and can dig. Very dry soil. Grassland plants. Grasslands and grass and wildflowers grow close to the ground. It does not rain enough to grow tall trees. So grass has roots that spread out and get water and give them strength. A lot of land. Many plants in grasslands have leaves that don't need much water. They don't get a lot of water, but they still look nice. Talk about what habitats have. What does a habitat have for a living thing? Think about it. Talk about it. Well, not with me, because I'm here. Don't start talking to the screen. That would be kind of weird. Mr. Burroughs, Mr. Burroughs. You done? Pause it. All right, moving on. Habitat has food, water, and a home for living things. Got to have those things. Hole, shelter under a tree, something to protect them, and to eat and to nutrients. Forest. There are many different types of forest. One example of a forest is a woodland forest. Woodland, wood, yeah. Another example is called a rainforest. Example of a forest called a rainforest. Get a lot of rain, much more rain, constant rain. Forests normally receive plenty of rain and sunshine. Forest animals. Forests provide supply food and places to live for a variety of animals. There is a diverse population in each type of forest. So we have birds. I'll look at that. Birds live in forest treetops. Many animals live on the ground. We have a jaguar. I don't know. Leopard, and a deer. Kind of weird if they were looking at it the other way. Forests have many tall trees. Plants on near the ground can survive without as much sunlight. Plants on near the ground. Don't like that. Trees grow tall in the forest. These tall trees prevent much sunlight, that's what I was talking about, from reaching the ground. Treetops act as a canopy, so the light can't go through the ground. Less sunlight reaches the plants near the ground. Those plants have large leaves to get the sunlight they need. So not small, they need more so they can get more sunlight. And vines climb high towards the treetops to reach available sunlight. So the vines go up so they can get to the sunlight. Incredible to me that these vines move to get to the sunlight. Talk about it. How do plants and animals meet their basic needs in the forest? You talk about it. You talk to somebody, look around. The dog's there, talk to the dog. Cat, talk. I don't hear you. I better not. Plants need water and sunlight to survive and grow. Plants need water. Plants get water they need from the amount of rain a forest receives. Animals find food and water in their habitat. There is a variety of plants and animals for the forest animals to eat. And they do. The Arctic is extremely cold. Arctic. It is cold most of the year. It gets snow, but little rain. Because it's so cold, it doesn't thaw when it comes down. It's solid when it comes, so it comes in snow. Arctic animals. To survive in the cold and snow, Arctic animals have special characteristics, special traits they have. Animals with thick fur to keep them warm. Some animals in the Arctic, like this walrus, have thick blubber that helps them to survive in the cold temperature. Arctic fox, what you're talking about. Arctic fox grows thick white fur to help them blend in with the snow. See how he blends in? They put that white one over in the grass. They have a problem. They'd have lunch for somebody. To survive, plants grow close together and low to the ground in the Arctic. Roots are shallow because the ground is frozen all year. Arctic plants have small leaves to prevent them from losing its water. So, purple sassafras uh, grow low to the ground in a group. Arctic poppies can be found in the Arctic. Good reason for the name is Arctic poppies. Uh, bearberry leaves leaves protect it from the cold. Leaves are very thick, protect it from the wind and the cold. Talk about it. Why can't all plants that live in the forest survive in the Arctic? Talk. Pause it. Solve it. Talk to the head. Talk. Plants in the forest require warm temperature and more water than plants that live in the Arctic. Plants can only survive in a habitat that meet their basic needs. Thick blubber, you're not going to be in the sunlight. That'd be kind of weird if you're in the desert. Be sweating. Why do plants and animals live in certain habitats? We just talked about this. Just kind of gave you, think about it. Could you imagine a walrus living in the desert? How would it think about it? Or I'm trying to think of a little brown fox living in the wetlands. Wouldn't be good. They live in certain habitats because the habitats meet their basic needs for survival. Which stage of the butterfly life cycle is shown in the photo below? Oh, I'm going to say it's B, pupa stage. It's called the pupa stage. It's not the egg. Pupa, larva comes next. You'll see. Hope you worked on that. Discuss the question that we can't get these videos to play. I don't know why I can't get these videos to play. Be able to explain if they're living things, all of their basic needs. Blah, 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 blah. The desert. The desert is a very hot, dry land that receives little rain. You better know that a desert hot, dry. That's the desert. The desert can be hot during the day, but cool during the night. It's very weird. I was out there in Nevada, very, very famous desert, and at night it's very cold. Desert animals solve problems of too much heat or too little water in different ways. How does an animal survive? This gecko stores water in its tail. Animals need to find different ways to survive with limited water, so it keeps water in its tail. Many animals sleep during the day and come out when it's cooler at night, called nocturnal animals. Camels store fat in the hump, with lighter colors to help them stay cool. Animals with lighter colors, okay. Because it reflects, doesn't absorb, doesn't go inside. Animals get most of their water from eating plants. So you got a rabbit there eating a cactus. It's a cactus, actually. Not getting hurt because it doesn't have the little prickly things. So, because they store water and they just eat it. Genius, pretty clever. Desert animals can survive with little water. Let's look at an example. So there we go, the cactus. Takes it in, stores it. Plants take in water through its roots. They have roots that spread out to find water. So roots go far out. The water lands. So if I'm taking up this much space, my roots could go up 4 times, 3 times as much as me, and then take in water. Can a plant live in a wet habitat? Can a plant that lives in a wet habitat live in a dry habitat? Talk about it. Pause it. Solve it. Nope. The plant will not get what it needs from the soil in a dry habitat. Just not used to it. It hasn't adapted to it. The ocean is a large body of salt water. Don't drink it. Let's see. Oceans cover most of the earth. They cover most of the earth. Let's see. The top part of oceans contain most of the living things. Tops do. When you get down, can't survive. Not a lot of oxygen. There are plants and animals that only survive in water and not on land. Ocean animals, different animals live in different parts of the ocean. The ocean gives animals the space they need to live and compete for food. Dolphins use their blowholes to breathe because they are not fish, they're mammals. Mammals need to breathe air. We don't have gills. Most animals in the sea have fins and flippers to help them move through the water. And many fish, like this shark, use gills to breathe. Ocean plants get their air and water they need from the ocean. Many ocean plants are located on the top layer of the ocean to get the sunlight. Dark, further you go down, the darker it is. There is no light at the bottom of the ocean. Seaweed is one example of ocean plant that makes its own food. Seaweed. Seagrass grows in the ocean. It's grass in the ocean. Why can't animals that live in the ocean live in another habitat? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Sharks. How do sharks breathe? The environment does not meet its needs. It's got gills. Can't do that in water, and can't do that in the desert, or the wetlands. Hard to breathe. A pond. Pond is a small body of water. Pond is made of fresh water, which is different from the oceans. Oceans are salt. Ponds are fresh. Pond is surrounded by land on all sides. It has little or no salt in it. Little or no salt. And don't go in there do a salt shaker. Look, it's an ocean. That I gotta cut. How many animals that live in fresh water? Many animals that live in fresh water cannot live in salt water. Many animals live in their whole life in the water. Other animals live around ponds to eat food in and around the water. Fish, like many ocean animals, breathe through gills to live in water. Turtles uh, can spend a lot of time in water. Tortoises cannot. Turtles can. They breathe with their lungs. Some animals have webbed feet to swim and walk around water. Pond plants. Pond plants grow near the water to get the water they need to live. Many plants grow out of the water to get sunlight they need to make their food. Why can't the animals that live in oceans live in ponds? Talk about this. What is it made out of? What is in it? The animals that live in the ocean cannot live in salt water. Can live in salt water, while animals who live in ponds can only survive in fresh water. Can't put the two. Can't drop a shark in fresh water and he's going to be all right. Not going to happen. Animals, let's see, true or false? Animals and plants can only live in a habitat that meets their basic needs. You better know this because I said this about 1,500 times. Say the answer. True. All right. Using the images, butterfly, what is happening in stage 2? It's happening in stage 2. After that leaf one, is it A, larva has formed a pupa, an adult butterfly has laid an egg, a larva is eating and growing larger. What do you think it is? It is C, yes. The larva is eating and growing larger. Let's see, what is wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this photograph? He is going to make some animal very happy or very full because I can see him pretty good. He has a bubble there. Recognize living things certain because they're trapped within needs bubble. Okay. What habitats meet the basic needs for each animal? So we got a polar bear. Where does it go? Which is it going to? Say it. Shout it. A, the Arctic. B, the desert. C, the ocean. Polar bear. A goes in the Arctic. What about that cactus? There's a picture of it in the picture. Desert. B. Camel. The desert. Yes. Seaweed. Ocean. Octopus. Ocean. And I'm trying to figure out what that is right down there. I have no idea what that is. It looks like a plant. So I'm gonna say, just because I'm gonna say the desert. I might be wrong. Let me know if I am. True or false? Animals and plants can live in habitats that don't meet their basic needs. Explain why. I ain't even giving you the answer. Look at the pictures. Which lives in a forest? Explain your answer. In a forest. Very little grows on the ground. Let's go with the bird. Let's go with the bird.